welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leanna. Today I'm going to be reviewing the LA Girl HD Pro Concealer. This has been out for quite a few years now, but I only just got around to trying it because prior to now they didn't really have a shade that worked for me, but they released a few new shades, and this is the new latest shade called Fairest. And they do sell LA Girl in Canada at a few different places. Where I live, I've never seen it outside of maybe our Dean's and Urban Planet, I think. And they don't really have a great selection there, so I had to wait until I could kind of find it online. And there's a place called Orabel.ca or .com. Can't remember. And they have a really good selection of LA Girl, and it turns out well.ca is going to be stocking it too. So Orabel had pretty well every shade, so I bought it there. And this is $6.99 Canadian for a tube. This is 0.28 ounces, which is fairly standard these days for concealer, although people are coming up with half an ounce concealer sizes now as well. There are quite a few different shades. There are 30 shades of concealer, but they also have 10 corrector shades and 3 highlighter shades, so there's 43 different shades in total. When you open it up, it's a squeeze tube. You have to squeeze it and it'll come out this little brush tip here. So it's a little bit different than most applicators. Most come in a tube with the doe foot wand that you apply under the eyes, so it's a little bit different. And on the website, it describes it as being crease resistant with opaque coverage and a creamy yet lightweight texture. The long wear formula camouflages darkness under the eyes, redness, and imperfections on the face. It provides complete, natural looking coverage, evens the skin tone, covers dark circles, and minimizes fine lines around the eyes. I couldn't find any information about the undertones for the different shades, so I don't actually know how they classify the shade Fairest. But compared to the other concealers I have, I would say it falls into the neutral category. They do have the ingredients list on the back, which is good. It's not vegan if that's a concern for you. It is, however, cruelty-free. If you want to see how the concealer wears, then let's just have a look at the different wear tests. So I'm starting with the Pro Concealer, and this is the shade Fairest, and here's what the brush tip looks like. I'm just going to squeeze up a little bit and start applying it under the eyes. The brush tip does make it really easy to just swipe it on and then go. And for this area, I'm just going to blend it out with a fingertip. I'm going to try a few different application methods just to see how it works. Blending out with the fingertip did go really well. It had no trouble blending at all. And then on this eye, I'm taking my damp Real Technique sponge. This one is specifically for under the eye, and it blended out really well this way too. And just going back in with a little bit more for each eyelid so that I can prime my eyes. And a little bit on my chin and right cheek where I had some redness. So this is a close-up underneath the ring lights. I haven't set anything yet at this point, so it's just starting to crease in my eyelids. And this is what it looks like on the face. Everything looks really nice. Here's a close-up in natural lighting. This is in front of a window. And again, still haven't set anything. It's still gathering in the creases of my eyelids a bit, but otherwise looks really nice. This is at the end of the day. The only thing I set was my lid for my eye makeup. It is creasing just a tiny bit under the eye since I didn't set there, but I think it wore really well. This is going to be wear test number 2 on camera anyway, and I'm going to be putting on a lot more. I'm going to be using it kind of like a foundation today just because the color is so nice. So I'm going to start wearing it under the eyes and the eyelid first, but then I'm going to start dragging it across the rest of my face and on this side using the sponge. This stuff really does blend extremely well. It spreads nicely and it's not super matte and it's not so creamy that it just, I don't know, it's too emollient and it's greasy. It's not like that either, so it just has a very nice consistency to it. And on this side I'm blending out with a Real Techniques Expert face brush just to see how it worked with a brush. Not my favorite, but also didn't look bad either. It looked fine. This is the close-up under the ring lights. I haven't set anything so far, so once again gathering in the creases on my lids, but I can remedy that. And it just looks really natural. Even though I put it on the whole of my face, concealer doesn't always look natural that way. But I am going to set one side of my face, and set both lids of course, but one entire side of my face just to see how it looks. And here's a close-up in natural light after setting the left side versus the right. And things still look really nice, although I think that I can tell under my eye area at least where it's been set and where it hasn't. And this is what it looks like at the end of the day. I think that I just tend to see a little bit more fine lines gather on the side where I don't set versus the side that I do. But it doesn't, you know, it doesn't look horrible and it doesn't bother me. This is going to be the last on-camera wear test. I'm just going to be putting a Pixie under eye corrector on each eye just to block out some of the dark circles before I go in with the concealer on each side. And I'm just going to start off by using my finger to pat things in first. I think I put a little bit too much on. It can be a little bit hard to regulate when you're just squeezing it out of the tube. But started with the fingers and now I'm just going to blend the rest of it out with a sponge and do the same on the other side. And I'm taking the E.l.f. HD loose powder. I'm going to try loose powder instead of a pressed powder. Set both lids and one under eye as per usual. We're going to go right into the natural light, the set side versus the unset side, and I can already start to see tiny creases forming in my fine lines on the side that I didn't set. And this is going to continue throughout the day, which is why I feel like it doesn't really work that well over top of another product, simply because it is a little bit creamier. So I feel like I probably wouldn't wear it over top of a corrector again unless I set. So as far as the concealer wears, I quite like it. I do have normal skin. I can have dry under eyes on occasion. So I prefer to have a concealer that isn't 100% matte. I would say that this concealer is definitely not as matte as a lot of other things out there. So the first few times I wore it without setting my under eyes at all. I have set my lids when I wear it just because I noticed that it tends to crease in my lids right away and I can't really remedy that without setting it. And when I'm wearing eyeshadow, I don't want it to crease. So if I put it on my lids, I need to set it. Under my eyes, if I don't wear too much, then I can get away without setting it. It doesn't look too bad. Today, I am wearing it with a corrector underneath, and I've set this side and I haven't set this side, and it's creasing quite a bit. So having that added layer of product definitely does mess with the formula. I think because it is a little bit creamier, it can't go on top of something else emollient. It just is not going to work unless you really pat it down with something else. So I'm having trouble today, but overall I've really been enjoying the way it wears just because it doesn't look flat matte, but it doesn't crease too much even if I don't powder it. And when I powder it, it doesn't look really cakey. So it's a really beautiful finish. The color is really nice and there are a lot of different colors to choose from. So I'm just going to do some swatches for you as a comparison. So this is the LA Girl Concealer in Fairest. This one is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in Fair Warm. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in L1. This is the Smashbox Studio Skin Concealer in Fair Neutral. And this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in C0.5. So it's definitely not too yellow or too pink. This one's very pink. And the e.l.f. one is more yellow. And Smashbox one is kind of a peachy. It tends to oxidize if you don't blend it out right away, which is why it always looks darker in a swatch than it does when it's on my face. It's kind of strange that way. I think because it's more of a hydrating concealer. But yeah, those are the swatches. And you can see that it's pretty well in the same shade group as the other ones. So if you're looking for a drugstore formula, it would be $5 USD. It's $6.99 Canadian. It's a good formula. Also, I do want to just touch on the fact that while it says it has 0.28 fluid ounces, the first thing I noticed is that the first time I squeezed it, it felt completely full. After that, the tube felt very hollow and full of air, so it's not 100% full in the tube. You'll note that after you squeeze it once or twice, there's just a huge air bubble. So immediately I thought, oh wow, this is gonna last like a really long time, but there's not nearly as much product in here as what I thought. I squeeze like this and there's nothing there basically. So it comes to you pretty well already half gone. So as I said, really been enjoying it. I would definitely buy it again. It's hard to find an affordable concealer that also has a good formula. I find that the affordable concealers that I've tried don't have a good formula. They're really, really drying. This one isn't, and so I really like it. But yeah, let me know if you've tried this concealer. I know it's been a staple for many people for quite a few years. My friend Shanice really likes it. She was the reason I really wanted to try it because I tend to trust my friends' opinions more than the opinions I hear on YouTube, you know? So yeah, let me know if you like it. Do you want to try it? So I post Mondays and Fridays here on this channel in the afternoons Eastern time. I'm going to be going away on a little vacation soon though. I guess you could call it a staycation. I just want to take a little break. So probably the whole month of July I'm going to be taking off just to rest and recharge and recuperate. But yeah, so my last video is probably going to be on Friday. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I'll see you soon. So if you want to find my other content, it will be linked below on Instagram and Patreon. And of course, stay subscribed for any other content I happen to be posting here. So thank you so much for your support. I hope you have a great day. Bye, everyone.